Call is now.
Is this is Alfonso's coming? Please, have you contacted him?
No, no, please. You haven't contacted him yet.
Soon.
Let me reach out and see.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know whether today Benjamin is playing soccer. I'm going to play football.
He is. I'm sure.
Benjamin. Okay, so as I mentioned, so let's assume that maybe you have a number of categorizations, let's say social factors. I'm starting with this, but it's not always going to be the same. It depends on whatever you are discussing. Social factors, environmental factors, economic factors, factors, and then let's see political factors. Okay, so let's start from the first one, social factors. So with respect to the social factors, you have to first, at the discussion part, link the social factors to what you in the previous section. And when I say the previous section, I'm talking about when I say the previous section, I'm talking about your resource. But normally the discussions will come before. So let's assume this is session 4 and this is session 5. So with respect to your social factors, what did you discover? What did you discover? So you have to talk about it. Depending on the analysis or whatever that you ran, link the social factors to what you are finding briefly. So maybe you say that based on, so you write. So is this one I'm writing? I'm not looking at anything, or I'm not copying anything from anywhere. It's based on my resource. So based on the resource in section 4, social factors constitute 40% or account for 40% of artificial. So here your topic 2. So your topic should be in mind, like whatever you are writing about. We will ask 40% of acceptance of artificial intelligence in construction or on construction projects. So you write this, right? And then if you also want to add other statistics, that would be great. Maybe this component scored 4.55 with respect to the fuzzy analysis. So can you see the way I'm writing? I'm not copying anything from anywhere.
You're not looking at any format.
I'm not looking at anything good, and
Yeah.
I'm writing right based on the resource. Yeah, and as I told you the other time, don't worry about your English. Forget about your English. That maybe you because sometimes I think the reason why people copy things from certain sections or certain areas is that they feel that maybe their English is not good, or you think that you don't have you are not good when it comes to English. When you read this statement, these two statements I've written, you may find one or two things I have not written right, but don't forget about don't worry about that. keep on writing. When I finish, I'll come back to come and read over and correct myself. Good. So this component scored 4.5 with respect to the fuzzy analysis. A deeper reflection or a deeper whatever reflection or a deeper check or a deeper reflection of the component shows that diversity policies is one of the key factors, one of the key social factors. Recorded 3.45, recorded 3.45 mean average, or maybe mean or something. Anything that's what to say. Further, it came to light like that cultural. So all these things, I'm just like something is before, not like something I'm inventing. Like if you look at your factors, so you can just look at the tables that you have in the section 4. So I'm just picking each of them, or I'm picking important stuff from the tables and I'm discussing them. So the next statement, furthermore, it came to light that cultural preservation or preference or whatever are important to the indigenous people living within the Akomea area. Akomea area. Next to the river Bra. Okay, then so you talk about the thing. Now you come to the significance of it, like the reflection of the factors of the things that you have just presented. So if I pick the first one, which is diversity policies, I'm going to talk about the diversity policies. So this is where, so the discussion is about, once again, the discussions is about your results in section 4. You talk about some of them. You can talk about all the factors or some of the factors within your components briefly. And then now you move on to what's their significance in terms of practical significance. Okay, so I'm going to take the first one. So you go ahead to say that the diversity policies in Ghana, has been championed by the government in the last 20 years, because the government of Ghana wants to ensure national cohesion. Now I'm going to bring in studies. A study conducted by, let me use Sharon 2024, support this position, where it's argued that before 1995, I'm just saying, maybe it was before 2005. Ghana, the pockets of conflict. It's just an example. I'm not saying that these are real. I'm just giving an example. National conflict. And as a result of that, the government intensified diversity policies to bring people from different ethnic groups together. Another study conducted by Manual 2022. So this is where you are like, after talking about the practical significance or some practical connections, you bring in some studies that people have conducted to support what you are saying. Okay, so another study conducted by Emmanuel 2020 also mentioned that the government decided to do this to bridge the gap between the North and South developmental gap. Therefore, a national policy was implemented in 2018 to make it compulsory for all construction firms to employ people from different parts of the country, promote diversity at the workplace.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
look.
Now you get it.
Oh,
Yeah, so now I'm done with my writing, but I'm not done. So this is where maybe another thing that people have issues. So you are done with it, the way I've written. Now you go back. So I'm going to go back and read whatever I have written. So you go back, you read based on the results in section 4, social constitutes, or if you want to use accounts. But accounts, not account, okay, because it's plural already, to account for 40% off. Now you correct, this is where you go back to read whatever you have written. You correct yourself in terms of your grammar and all that. Just spend time. You can do this 2, 3, 4, 5, up to the point that you think whatever you have written sound nice or sound good to you. At that point, leave it. That's it. So I'm going back based on the results in section 4. Social factors account for 40% of the acceptance of artificial intelligence in construction projects. These components here you can reveal a fuzzy synthetic point. Score of 4.4. So when you go back, you can correct yourself. You can revise some of the sentences just to correct, to put your thing in better position. A deeper reflection, show or demonstrate that this component has diversity policies. One of the key factors. This factor let's say table 4 or table 2. Furthermore, it came to light that cultural preferences are important to the indigenous people living within. Cultural preferences and diversity, or cultural preservation and diversity are important to the indigenous people living within where this project is taking place. So here I've also given maybe the specific area, if it's a specific an area geographical based project, you mentioned that or something, you know, where this project is taking place or has taken place. The diversity policies in Ghana have been championed by the government, championed by the past governments. Have been championed by past government, have been championed by past government in the last 20 years because they want to ensure national cohesion. A study conducted by Sharon 2024 supports this position, where it argued that before 2020 to 2005, Ghana was experiencing pockets of conflict. And because of that, the government intensified diversity policies to bring people from different ethnic groups together. Another study conducted by Emmanuel mentioned that the government decided to do this to bridge the gap between the north and south developmental gap. Therefore, a national policy was implemented in 2008. Therefore, a national policy was implemented in 2008 to make it compulsory for all construction firms to employ people from different parts of the country to promote diversity at the workplace. So this one, haven't I finished discussing my thing? How many words already? I have over 200 words. So if you have 4 sessions or 5 sessions and you write 200 words, how many do you have? 1,000 words. And having 1,000 words discussions in your work, I think it will go a long way to fulfill whatever you are writing, or like to meet whatever target that you have. So once again, I can go back and read whatever I've written. I can go back, and I want to encourage you to do the same. Go back to read what you have written over and over and over and over again until you come to a point where you think that, okay, whatever you have written is okay. Okay. And whatever you say here too, I'm talking about like if you quote something, let's say 40% or a score of 4.55, make sure it is the same in the previous sections. Okay. Yes. Any question on this?
Yes, Doctor. Yes, Doctor.
That's me.
Good. So please, my question is, is it as you are writing, you are citing?
Yeah.
So it means that you have already read
something.
and
Yeah,
explained
yes. Yes, I was going to go there. Yeah, you should have read something. You should have read something, especially for example, if I'm writing about social factors in Ghana and it's about diversity.
Is that all gone? Lord Isaac. Hey, is it my network or?
No, he's gone.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not on.
Mhm. Okay. There might be his network or something.
Algae,
Yeah, sure.
is the A coming on?
Come again?
The presentation.
Yeah, it will come off to this morning. I think it will be 9, right? So I think the other group will be presenting.
They didn't bring out the.
Oh, it's the same list. It's the same list. The list that I brought the other time. Yes.
So we're presenting again.
No, no, we are done. The other people will present. We are not presenting.
Okay.
All right.
Is Isaac coming back or what happened?
He just went off. He just went off.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manal.
Welcome, though.
Oh, sorry, what happened? So sorry, what happened? It went
I,
off.
we have been waiting for last 25 minutes, maybe.
Hey, what is so I've been just been talking.
Oh, who you have been
Oh,
talking to?
no, I thought I'm online. I didn't check the.
You are not
Oh,
online. We just
I'm so
lost you
sorry.
20 minutes ago.
This is amazing. I think let this thing went off. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay. All good.
Yeah. Okay, so where did we get to? Oh no, this is so bad. What was the last thing I said? Do you remember?
We forgot already because it's been a while.
Really? This is so strange. Anyway, I did this with you, right? Can you hear from me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so you write this from the information or from the results in the previous session, and then you go ahead to give examples. I think Emmanuel asked a question. So these examples, where do you get them from? So the examples, you get them from the articles that you have read or an online information. It could be a government report. It could be a government document. It could be a document from a reputable organization. So we put them here. Okay. So make sure that before you put these things here, you have read something before. So the question is, do you have to read before you start writing? I will suggest you do it alongside. Whilst you are writing, then you'll be reading. So for example, if let's say Sharon has done a study on diversity in Ghana, and I get to this point. Where is Emmanuel? He's gone. Okay, so when you get to this point, diversity policies in Ghana, you can just search some policies, some information. They are the same everywhere, irrespective of the industry that you find yourself in. So things like affirmative action, diversity, some of these things, they are things which are they are kind of national policies. So for national policies, they apply or they affect everyone. Great. But it is good if you can get something like a specific industry-based policy. But in situations where there's nothing like that, you just rely on the national policy as your source of evidence to back your work. I hope you get this, because there are diversity policies which only apply to diversity policies that apply to only construction. They don't apply to other areas. The diversity policies that apply to only construction, they don't apply to other areas. I mean, when I say other areas, I'm talking about they don't apply to what hospitality, business, and all that. No, they only apply to construction. So in situations where you have the two, I would suggest you choose the one which is industry specific. But I've come to notice that in many cases, there are nothing like industry-specific studies or industry-based studies. Either they are non-existent or they are limited. In situations where industry studies are limited or non-existent, rely on national studies. National studies in the sense that certain things apply to everyone in a certain geographical area or country. Things like affirmative action and many other diversity and inclusion policies. They are the same, irrespective of the industry that you are in, whether you are in construction or business or medicine, it's the same. Okay, good. So if you look at my write-up here, I said that diversity policies in Ghana have been championed by so and so government to ensure national cohesion. And then I went ahead and later on I just specifically applied it to construction industry, that since 2018, there is a national policy that makes it compulsory for construction firms to employ people from different parts of the country to promote diversity at the workplace. Okay, good. So that's it. Any question on this one? So this is one type, or this is one way of writing your work without plagiarizing and also without encountering AI issues. Now, I'm going to take you through the second step. Today, I'm teaching you three, or the second approach. With the second approach, what you can do is that you can copy something from either ChatGPT, Copilot, Google, somebody's published article, or something from somewhere. It could be a report, it could be a journal article, anything. So here, for example, the red one, the one I have highlighted red, is something I have copied from online. And the green one is what I have rewritten. Like I have revised it or I've written it again. So with this one, what you need to do is that you have to read what you have copied. And then now try to put it in your own words, or put it the way you understand what you have copied. So I copied environmental factors refers to the red, the highlight, the one I have highlighted red. I copied it from online. And I now put it in my own words, according to how I understand the red highlighted statements. So that's the second step, which I think some of you or many of you try. I think that's what you try to do. Yes, there's nothing wrong with copying something from somewhere. The reason why there's nothing wrong with copying something from somewhere is that sometimes when you are reading, let's say you are reading an article, let's say you are reading this article, and then you come to a point, there's a certain section that you think, this section, it's talking about what I'm doing. Like, maybe here, you saw something whilst you are reading this article, you saw this, it's like, this thing has something to do with my work. It's important. You are allowed to copy it. There's nothing wrong with it. You are not committing any crime. You can copy it, but the issue is when you leave the copied thing as it is, that's where the issue is. So let's assume I have copied this. I've copied this. So once you copy, read it and read it again, get the understanding, and then write it in your own words. So this one, I think I'm going to just take part of it and just do some rewrites to help you out to understand what I mean. I'm just going to take this one out, right? Okay, so I read this from somewhere, this one from somewhere. I copied it from another article, and I think it has something to do with my work, or it kind of give me an information about whatever I'm writing. So what do? I have to rewrite it. So this is how I'm going to write. Okay. So I've read this, I understand this, and I'm going to write it in my own words. For the past whatever 50 years, AI has become important for manufacturing companies, leading to increase productivity. So you see the first statement, we have put it in my own words. For the past 50 years, AI has become important for manufacturing companies, leading to increased productivity. Maybe I can even add advanced nations or developed nations or whatever. I can even remove that. Leading to increased productivity. Okay. AI is part of the family of intelligent systems, which became dominant in the 1970s through to the 1990s. So what I'm just trying to say is that, like, once you copy something from somewhere, don't try to, some people sometimes some people like somebody want to change the words. If you are going to change the words, you are going to have issues, and the AI this thing will catch you up. Like, instead of using history, the person will maybe use something, maybe the history, the past, and then you leave all these things here, and then rise, instead of rise, say up, and then support, and you come and change, help. If you do it like that, the AI thing and then the plagiarism thing will catch you. It's just like you are changing words. You are changing words, but rather read the entire thing, understand it, and then now put it in your own words. So, like, this whole thing I copied, I have just summarized it into about 2 sentences, and that's it. Maybe that's what I want to get from this whole write-up. But if you also want to add something more, 1 or 2 sentences, you can add. And then another thing that you have to do is that, because you got the information from this copy, you need to refer. So if this is the article that I copied the thing from, it's good for you to cite. So this is where the citation comes in. So it's good for you to cite this article. Okay, cite either to be the end sentence citation or beginning sentence citation or whatever. Yeah, citation. You need to put something here so that if somebody is going back, or if somebody decides to go back and check, the person will be like, oh, okay, so you got the idea from this person's article. So you got the idea from here. So this is where the issue of citation comes in. Oh, okay, so even though you have written 2 sentences in your own words by reading this, but the idea, the information that helped you to write these 2 sentences, you got it from this copy. And actually, I mean, from this article. I hope everyone is okay. So this is how you avoid the AI and plagiarism stuff. Because if you are going to, once again, if you are going to change sentences and change words, phrases, then like maybe here somebody would be do like instead of cooperate, the person will just do integrate and leave the other ones hanging. And then instead of planning, maybe the person will put something there, capable. The person will use something. Don't change words, don't change phrases. Just understand this whole thing. Read it. Okay, you have read this part. Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is what this means. Okay. So okay. So AI, agentic AI. Hey, sorry, the thing is not even AI, it's just agentic. Go back and correct yourself. So, okay, for the past 50 years, agentic AI has become important for manufacturing companies, leading to increased productivity. Oh, okay. And AI is part of the family of intelligence systems, which became dominant in the 1970s through to 1990s. Okay. And you got it from here. You got the whole thing from this. Then you cite. There's no way this, what I have written, anybody can say I have used AI to write this. No way. And there's no way plagiarism to also catch me, because I have written the thing based on how how I understand what I read. Okay, how I understand it. So that's the third approach. The last approach has to do with when you are doing it's almost the same. They are all similar, or they are all together. When you want to quote something, and when I say quote, I mean you want to say that Roxana 2025 said that AI is the best to ever to support construction management. This is more of like a quotation, or is it more of like it's like this has more of this has more power, authority, compared to putting Roxana 2024 at the end of the statement. This one has authority, and because this one has authority, anytime you are making a claim, anytime you are starting a sentence or a statement where the author or the authors come first before you start the sentence, you need to be very careful about that, extremely, and make sure that what you are saying, indeed, you have read it and you know what you are talking about. The reason, let me give you an example. When I was in the University of Ghana and I was doing my master's, one day we had a presentation. Somebody came to present his work. And then the person was presenting and the person was presenting and the person said, oh, so and so said this, and so and so said that, and so said that. The funny thing is that the guy misquoted, or the guy, I believe the guy didn't read the article because he was just making things up. And one of the panel members was the author, or one of the authors of the papers. Yeah, that day the guy could, I will use the word, he was disgraced, or like, the man said he has not said that. He said, you are quoting me wrong. I've never said that. I've not said it. What you are saying, no, I have not said that. It's not in my article. It's not in my papers. So if you are going to make a claim about something where you are starting that maybe Roxana reported, recounted, mentioned, studied this, that, according to so and so, this and that and that and that. Not only journal articles, but even institutions. If you are referring to institutions, like according to IMF, according to World Bank, according to the construction industry in Ghana, according to this, according to that, please make sure you are sure you know what you are talking about. One each challenge that I've seen a lot of people do have is that they put in so many references in the articles, but those articles, they themselves, they have not read the articles. They are just quoting and quoting and quoting. And let me give you an example. They are quoting and quoting. You see that they have one section. Maybe they have about, they say they have referenced so many people that they have quoted, so many people that they have referenced, but they have not read the article. The article has not been, none of the articles that they have put in there have been read. You have not read it. So it's better to quote one person. It's better to refer to one article, one source, than refer to so many sources that you have not read. If it is only one source that you have read and you are sure about that, put that reference there. It is better. It is better than to put in so many people, so many people, and you have never opened the paper. Yeah, there's some reviewers, those who are very critical, they can check your article and take you on. Yeah. Yes, please ask your question.
No question. I just want to share something in regards to that. I was presenting at a place, and similarly another student was also presenting, and then she quoted something, and then the judge or reviewer said that, okay, I'm very sorry to highlight that, but he's one of my good friends, and I read his paper and he did not say that how you're quoting. It was so embarrassing. So that he was like bit angry as well.
Yeah.
From University of Sydney, he's a organizational management professor. His citation is 61,000. So he said he said that he didn't say that how you're quoting, that person is not present here, so I should say on his behalf. So it was, so we need to be careful.
Yeah, please. So you need to be careful. You need to be extremely careful. I will encourage, don't worry yourself about citing so many articles at the same time. Because sometimes, as I said, to add to what Dr. Roxana said, you see people putting in so many references, but the references, you have not read them. So many. Don't do that. Don't put in so many references. Even if it is one, that's okay. And also make sure, as Dr. Roxana said, make sure you have read it, because some people can embarrass you. You don't know where you will be.
And nowadays also, research sends you notification that you were cited, and then and it also shows how you were cited.
Yeah.
So if someone cites and you didn't say that, they can write you back.
Yes.
They
That's
can
the thing.
complain to your institution.
Exactly. Because if you say that I said A, B, C, D, and then I have not said that, so some people can take you on. Yeah, so we need to be careful about all these things. It doesn't mean you don't have to reference. It doesn't mean you don't have to cite. You have to cite, you have to reference. But just be careful about whatever you are referencing, whatever you are citing. Yeah, know what you are citing. Just know it. If you know, that's it. And don't worry yourself putting in so many references in your article. Yeah, because as I said, it's not the references in your article that will make your paper publishable. But the most important things are the things that I've discussed with you, I'm discussing with you now. It's about how you explain your point. Yeah, how you explain your point. Now, let me show you one last thing. It nearly escaped me, then we go. And I'm going to use the political one to do so. I've tacked on explaining your discussions, copying something from somewhere and revising. I've given you 2 examples where you can copy something and rewrite it in your own words, or you read something and then you paraphrase or you summarize or whatever you want to call it and put it in your work. And then the citation issues. Now, the last one is, how do you go about it? What is the best approach? Do you have to use a chronological approach, or you have to how do you go about it? Okay, so yesterday I think I had a meeting with some other group and I was discussing and I was explaining this thing to them. Writing anything is just like telling your story. Many writers, that's how they go. I understand that some people sometimes decide to take another approach that's acceptable, but I will encourage you as someone who is starting a research journey to be, just think like a storyteller. What is a storyteller? Just like how we chat. For example, if I meet you, Emmanuel, or I meet Benjamin anywhere, and I'm chatting with you, my conversation or whatever I'm saying will follow something. Like, for example, maybe if I tell you that I went to Singapore or I've been to Singapore and I'm sharing this story with you, you must see a certain pattern. When you are going to Singapore, where do you go to? You go to the Sydney airport. And even in the Sydney, at the Sydney airport, there are certain processes and steps that you have to go through, right? There will be check-ins, go and do some waiting, maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Then after that, they will call everyone. You go and board your flight, and then your flight, and when you are in the flight, maybe they will share food and drinks, and then you get to Singapore, and then Singapore, you come out of the airport, you go to whatever hotel or wherever or whatever you want to go to, and then so and so. So when I'm sharing something or a journey or something I did with respect to maybe my travel to Singapore, I must be able to give you a step-by-step approach or a step-by-step story or information about what I did. I can't just start talking to you that I went to Singapore by starting. I can't start by talking about all of a sudden. I start from somewhere. Then I bring in something. Russia and Ukraine, they are fighting, and then all of a sudden, then I go and talk about America, and then all of a sudden I talk like, I think you look at me and like, is this guy, is he okay? I think that's what you say. Is Isaac okay? What's he saying? Why you are talking about Singapore? Why are you talking about America and Russia-Ukraine war and all these things? What is it for? You said you went to Singapore. I'm expecting to hear something about how the whole thing went, but you are now talking about Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and this, and it's like, you be like, what is going on? Are you okay? So something like that. I'm just trying to give you a practical example of this thing. The same, when you are writing anything in terms of your write-up, there must be some level of consistency and flow. You are talking about artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence support construction work. You start from somewhere, you move on to the next, you move on to the next, move on to the next, to the end. I mean, to the conclusion. Perfect. But here is the case sometimes. I don't know whether Dr. Rosanna, you have been doing supervision, so you know that sometimes some of the thesis document that students send to us, It's not easy. You read the thing and you don't know the head from the tail, where the thing is starting from or where the thing started from, and
Even sometimes
all
the
over the place.
papers to review.
The papers to review to the same. Yeah, I agree. You're right. You don't see the thing. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is that just think like a storyteller. I mean, I don't want to make it so difficult, or just like the way you chat with your friends, your family members. The same. Like maybe if you went somewhere, you went out, you came in, and your mom is asking you, where did you go to? When you are talking, there's that consistency or that kind of flow. You know, if you start saying something which is weird, your mother will be like, it's my son or my daughter, okay? The same thing applies to thesis and academic writing. Your write-up must flow in a certain direction. There must be a certain direction as to how your write-up is going. So if you look at, I'm just going to take you back to the first example that I took you to. This one, you can see that I started from talking about the results from the past section, then took some of the factors, talked about them, then went ahead to give examples, and then some studies, and then I concluded by saying that therefore a national policy has been implemented. So and so and so and so. So something like this. So that the person who is reading this will know that okay. So this is what the thing is about. Okay, I get it. Yeah, but don't write and just put sentences down because you want to just put down sentences. And that is the reason why I mentioned that to correct some of these issues, read over your work many times. Yes. When you finish writing, spend some time to read over your own work. Just read over it to make sure that the sentences fit. This thing follow the other. This thing is after this one comes. After that one is going. That flow is there. That is what you have to do. So that is that's the last thing I want to share with you. So if you go and copy something from somewhere and want to put it into your work, good, the same. Make sure that the flow is there. Yeah. At this point, any question? Let me take some questions and then before we go. Is there anyone who has a question who want to pass a comment? Dr. Roxana, is there something you want to share?
No, doctor, I'm good. I think you covered different aspects, which is perfect. No comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what about Sharon, Emmanuel, Benjamin, and everyone? So
Yes.
Benjamin said, "I'm late." No, you are not late. I think you came at the right time. I think this thing went off without me knowing. So it's good you came. You came at the right time. Benjamin here.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, left. Okay, so if everyone is fine, everyone is okay, then thank you. I'm hoping that in your subsequent write-ups you improve. And the last thing that you need to understand is that, as we always say, practice make a man perfect. I'm not going to be like, because we have done this today, then tomorrow, all of a sudden you become like a perfect person or a perfect scholar. But if you decide to follow what I've just shared with you, after some time you will see a lot of improvements in your write-up. A lot. If not perfect, I mean, you see a lot. You see yourself better than before. So just follow what I've shared, the tips I've shared with you today, and things are going to change. Yeah. Once again, I'm not expecting you to be like all of a sudden then you become like me or Dr. Sana or other scholars. But after some time, you're going to be okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. You want
Thanks,
to say?
everyone.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you, Dr. Isaac.
Thank you. Bye.
And then
Bye.
the link to the recorded version too as well.
Yes, I'll share.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.